Hi guys, today is February 19th and welcome to episode 68 of Knits and Stuff. My name is Alicia and today we'll be talking about finished objects, works in progress, pretty things, and events. But first, welcome to those of you that are new, and for those of you that are returning, thanks for coming back. If you haven't already, there's a group in Ravelry that you can join. It's called the Knits and Stuff Podcast, and there'll be a link in the show notes, which are at knitsandstuffpodcast.com. So yeah, let's get started. Finished objects. I have a number of things to show, one of which I think I was working on last time I recorded, and that is the sockhead hat. So this is the sockhead hat by Kelly McClure. It's on US 2.5s, 3.0 millimeters. I got a set of Knitter's Pride Carbon circulars. And the yarn is Squish Fiber Arts Beefcake Sock in Tom Collins. And this is going to be a gift for one of my friends. It's a late Christmas gift, but it's a nice slouchy hat, and I have the brim rolled up right now, but I did not a twisted rib, but I just twisted the first purl stitch after the knit. So after I knit 2 for the rib, then I do a purl through the back loop and then purl the second stitch normally, just to give it a little bit more of a cleaner second knit stitch, even though, I don't know, it kind of works out, it kind of doesn't. Some of my knit stitches are still kind of wonky, but it's going to be rolled up, so it's not as noticeable. Yeah, so that is the sockhead hat, and I knit another hat out of some of the Madeline Tosh sweater yarn that I got in the Sweater Yarn Club last year. It's already last year. And this is the Violet Waffles hat. It's dark, so it's washing out the camera a little bit. But it's a DK weight yarn in Madeline Tosh DK Twist. The colorway is El Greco. And the pattern is Violet Waffles by Heldora J. This is knit on US 4s and 6s, which are 3.5 and 4.0 millimeter needles. And this is going to be another Christmas gift for another one of my friends. Actually, both of them are a couple, and so one of them will get a slouchy hat and one of them will get a fitted hat. Yeah. This is for a guy friend, so I figured I should make something a little bit darker because I don't think he really wears brighter colors. And this was like the only thing in my stash. So luckily I had something that I could whip up into a hat. Otherwise I would have to go buy something. Although I guess I'm probably not seeing them before stitches, so I could have picked up something there. But that's okay. It's done now. So yeah. Again, this is more of like a darker, that's a little better. It's this kind of like darker, tonal black gray color. So yeah, that's another finished object. And I didn't do, I did not do the knitting the purling the first purl stitch through the back loop because oh my goodness, this hat I forgot, it's been so long, but I cast this on like 4 times because the first time I cast it on it looked way too big, and I guess that's the nature of ribbing, and so I decided to decrease the number of stitches, and I was doing the twisting the back, purling through the back to twist the stitches so that it would be a little bit cleaner, but that was making it a little bit tighter. So as I knit like about an inch or so up on the main hat, past the ribbing, I noticed that the hat was way too small, and so I tried again, and I did like 4 stitches less than the main, than the pattern called for, and that was still too small because I was also twisting, and I was like, well, you know what, I need to stop not doing what the pattern says. So I just followed the pattern after that, and now it's fine. So hopefully it will fit, and hopefully it's not too slouchy. I was trying to get it fitted, but it's, yeah, should be okay. So anyway, that's my second finished object. And these have both been blocked already, and they're ready to be given to their recipients. So yeah. And then my last finished object is a tiny little hat. I have all hats today, but yeah, this is a top-down preemie hat. The pattern I followed was the top-down preemie hat by CC Allman. I just did a rolled brim, so I did stock nut stitch all the way down. And I used some yarn scraps that I had, and I pretty much used them all up. These are both Miss Babs Yowza, and this brownish colorway is Sycamore, which I knit a cardigan out of, and then this green striped is First Dibs, and I made a hitchhiker out of that one. So yeah, that's my adorable little preemie hat, and I'll be bringing this to... that's the color jog because I was knitting stripes. Yeah, and so I'll be bringing this to Stitches West to, I think I need to double check if I'm going to the meetup with the Knit More girls, and I don't know if they're still collecting preemie hats, but if they are, I will bring this to them so they can donate it to their local NICU. So that's, yeah, my cute, adorable little preemie hat. And I really liked this pattern, so I think, because it's top down, you can kind of, you do need to knit to a certain length, to make it wearable, but I guess you have, kind of like toe-up socks. You can just keep knitting until, you run out of yarn. So that's all of my finished objects. So I have a couple works in progress to show. First are my toe-up socks with a difference. These are in a Silver Shed medium, I think, or small. It's medium or small triangle bag. And I have the first sock is already done. I showed that last time. The pattern is Toe-up Socks with a Difference by Wendy D. Johnson. I'm knitting it out of Mustache Yarns Perfect sock in the colorway Dark Side of the Moon. And yeah, first sock is done, and second sock is, well, okay, not completely done. It still needs a heel. I'm doing a afterthought heel on these because I forgot to stop for a heel when I was knitting on the first one. So this is the second sock. I was where my little stitch marker is, to kind of give a brief preview of Pretty Things. This is one of the stitch markers that I got from Sugar Tots on Etsy, and it's just adorable little unicorn, or not unicorn, narwhal, like ice cream narwhal. It's so cute. So I have more of this to show. So that's where I was last time. So this is my purse knitting. I've been bringing this with me to work and knitting during lunch. Yeah, so I've made some progress on that. And then these are also on US 1's 2.25 millimeter needles, my Hayahayas, and with the super long cable. I wish these cables were a little bit shorter, but I realized that I want to try knitting 2 at a time socks, so I would use these ones because these have the super long cable, because my other cables are mostly, or my other sock needles are mostly 40 inches, which is not, I guess it's still could be long enough, but it's not as much room as these. So after I'm done with these, I might try knitting 2 at a time socks. We'll see. But yeah, so that's my first work in progress. So next I have my TARDIS socks, which are Police Box Socks by Audrey Nicklin. I'm knitting this out of Bad Wolf Girl Studios Galaxy LMC. And this is the first sock, which I showed last time. And lovely color work. I think the color work on this one, I just finished that. So last time, again, more pretty things. Okay, let me see if I can face this the right way. Oh, I should have turned it the other way. That's okay. So on here, we can see a little tea bag. So if you've seen the podcast Inside number 23, I think KT has the same stitch marker, I think. So I heard of the Sugar Tots shop from her and from her podcast. So I thought they were adorable and had to get some. So I got this tea bag also. I'm basically using all of them on my projects now, but this is where I was last time, and then went through the color work and all of the slip stitches pattern to get down to the heel, and now I'm on the main body of the foot. So now I could bring this one to work too and just knit on it, because it's just straight stocking it in the round until I get to the toe. So yeah, and these are on US 1's 2.25 millimeters signature sock needles, fixed circular needles. Yeah, so I got these last year at Stitches West. Is that right? Last year? It was a year at Stitches West. Yeah, I must have, because I think last year I was knitting on these socks at Comic-Con. That sounds right. So hopefully I'll have these done by Comic-Con this year, and then I can wear them there, and that would be so exciting. And then I'll have to have another pair of socks on the needles that I can work on there. So yeah, that is the TARDIS socks, and they're also living in the Erin Lane sheeple bag that I got at Stitches West last year with the window. Okay, so I have one more work in progress, and that is a shawl that I actually forgot to show last time. It's in my Needle Runs Through It owl bag, and yeah, I worked on this last time, and then I forgot to show it in the podcast because yeah, I had so many works in progress I didn't remember. So this is the My Hope. It's out of Skein Studios, Uptown Sock in the colorway Poetic. And there's another one of Sugar Tots stitch markers. It's a Totoro cupcake. It's so cute. I can't stand it. Yeah, so I'm using that. That's where I was the last time I showed this on the podcast. And yeah, so I went through and did the next set of these twisted stitches, and yeah, I forgot how long they take to get through. But I also I was using so they're on US 5's 3.75 millimeter needles, and I was using my Adi Natura Clicks, the interchangeable bamboo needles, and the yarn was actually catching up on the yarn was actually catching on the connection. So I decided to switch to what also happens to be US 5 needles, and these are the carbons that I knit my mental app on. So these are much better just because the joint is a little bit smoother. That actually the yarn itself wasn't catching on, well, the yarn, the regular knit stitches weren't catching on the connector as much as when I did the these triple stitches. I think they're treble stitches, is that what they're called? I forget. But when I'd have these on the needles and try to bring them back up. It was bad. It was so bad. So, yeah, it's much better when the join is a lot smoother. So, yeah, that is my shawl. I kind of want to use more yarn than I did on the last one that I made. So I've made a My Hope shawl before. Oh, and did I mention this is by Laura Linneman? Yeah. So I've made one before, and I just followed the pattern. I had a little bit of yarn left over, and so I'm thinking I will also have a little bit of yarn left over for this one. And I kind of want to make it a little bit bigger. So I should search some of the project pages to see if anyone else has done that. Because yeah, I'd like to have it a little bit of a wider shawl. And I'd like to use up the whole skein of yarn, so might as well. It's so pretty. So this is how much I have left so far, but yeah, should be plenty. So hopefully I'll be able to figure out how to use the rest of it. So yeah, that is all of works in progress. And I have some pretty things, which I've already showed 3 out of the 4 stitch markers. So the last one I picked up was this little Eggo. You can do it. There we go. So the last one I picked up was this little Eggo with the lights, and if you have seen Stranger Things, you might find this familiar. So it's a reference to the TV show, or I guess Netflix show. So it's another lobster claw like progress keeper. And it's really cute. So those are all from Sugar Tots. Got the Eggo, the Narwhal, the Totoro, and the tea bag. So the last thing I have is some yarn from Nomadic Yarns. I have been seeing people knit with the colorway Molly Weasley, and I really liked the it's self-striping yarn. I guess I can just show it. I don't know why I'm not. So this is Nomadic Yarns. I got 2 self-striping balls, and this one is Molly Weasley, and I got it in the Brit sock base. So I'm excited to make some socks out of these. I really liked the way the colors work together, and the striping socks looked really cute, so I can't wait to start a pair of socks, but I should really get some off the needles first before I start a new pair. I also got Dobbies of Free Elf in the Spark sock base, and not as many colors, but still very pretty. And sparkly, so I will also probably knit up another pair of socks in these, and I might try and do a contrasting heel and toe, so we'll see if I can get some yarn. Maybe at Stitches I could find some. Yeah, we'll try and look for something there. So yeah, that'll be my first time doing a contrasting heel and toe, so that'll be exciting. But yeah, that is the 2 Nomadic Yarns that I got. And last thing I have before I go is events. So I'll be going to Stitches West this weekend. If you see me there, come say hi. And yeah, I'm going to try not to get as much yarn this year, but I do have a couple things on my list that I want to try out, including those really cool looking double point needles from Addie that they're like the flex flips. Flexi flips, yeah. So they're the flexi flip needles where they have a little cable in between the 2 metal parts. So I want to see if I can find those there and try them out for socks, because I can't have enough sock needles, I guess, because that means I can put more sock projects on the needles and work on them simultaneously. So yeah, so I'll be there. And yeah, I mentioned I would go probably be at the Knit More Girls meetup. And yeah, that's all I have for events. Oh, I also want to try, I mean, this is way out in the future, but I do want to try going to Dixon Lambtown again. So, but that's not until October. So I'll talk more about that later. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Social media stuff. I am Eliana Knits on Ravelry, on Perfect529 on Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, etc. And show notes again are at knitsandstuffpodcast.com. I've also been putting show notes in the YouTube videos themselves, so if you're watching on YouTube, you can check the show notes below. Yeah, that's all I have. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in another 4 weeks or so, sometime next month, with probably all the stuff I got from Stitches. So thanks. Bye.